Coming up in your morning weather, today is an alert day. Who could see some severe weather and when we're expecting it to track through the area? Coming up in a little bit.
Right now this morning, waking up to the aftermath of yesterday's tornado outbreak. We'll show you the damage across our area and what crews are dealing with today. President Trump returns from NATO ready to meet with Iran, but conflicting intelligence reports on the nuclear strikes have senators demanding answers. Governor Tony Evers stops in La Crosse pushing for child care funding as providers face closure. What he's telling lawmakers with just days left to act. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter. On this Thursday, June 26, meteorologist Nicole Skalitsky is in for Art this morning. We will send it over to her. Nicole, you said it's an alert day. The rain, it just won't leave us alone,
yes,
will
we're
it?
not getting a break quite yet. We do have a break on the way, though, as we go towards tomorrow. So finally a dry day in the forecast, but still have to get through another day of potentially severe weather moving across the area. Because of that, we do have an alert day out for this afternoon and this evening, mainly looking at that flash flooding risk because of that excessive amount of rain that we've been seeing across the area. However, the environment's very similar to what we saw yesterday, so there is still that risk for maybe a weaker and short-lived tornado and some localized damaging winds. Flood threat is going to be across the entirety of the area, where that tornado and wind threat is mainly for areas south of I-94. Here's a look at our current temperatures right now. Not sitting too bad out there. Areas closer to I-90, actually into the 60s, upper 60s. La Crosse sitting at 70. Areas further north of I-94 staying in the 50s for now. Still seeing some patchier areas of fog out there. La Crosse full visibility, although Eau Claire sitting around 5 miles of visibility. We can see some maybe lighter fog off by the bluffs in La Crosse. Otherwise, looking pretty clear out there. Not a whole lot of headaches coming in quite yet. In Eau Claire, we're slowly seeing that fog start to burn off and dissipate a little bit. Still holding on some remnants, though, and that will definitely be washed away as we see some rain showers moving in a little bit later into the morning hours, mainly staying closer to I-94. I'll have a full look at your week forecast and what the severe weather potential is looking like coming up in a little bit.
All right, Nicole, thank you. And as we've been mentioning, there was some possible tornadic activity in our area yesterday. Take a look at this video sent to us from a viewer. This is in Berry Mills. The funnel almost fully touching down, but it did dissipate, thankfully. And our cameras finding some damage. Here's a piece of metal roof that flew off into a field. And another funnel cloud on Goose Island captured. You can see it forming here in the distance. Plus another tornado captured on camera crossing the road in Heartland, Minnesota. Debris could also be seen swirling in the air as it passed. A tornado touched down in Yucatan, Minnesota. That left behind plenty of debris and some fallen trees blocked off a few roads. A number of cars also flooded out as rain pummeled La Crosse. We saw multiple vehicles stuck in the high water. You see that there. Luckily for those drivers, some good Samaritans were nearby to help them out.
And so I was on my way home and I saw a bunch of flashing lights from stalled out cars. So I decided to come down and push some people up.
And a reminder for you, you can track weather on your block by downloading the First Warn weather app. You can find that in the App Store or on Google Play. The White House, meanwhile, is preparing to meet with Iran next week after the president declared their war with Israel finished following last weekend's strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Trump doubling down at the NATO summit, claiming those strikes obliterated Iran's main nuclear site. But intelligence assessments are suggesting otherwise. The public and lawmakers could learn more today. CBS News' Jared Hill reports.
President Donald Trump, back in Washington from the NATO summit, says his administration plans to meet with Iran next week.
They had a war, they fought, now they're going back to their world. I don't care if I have an agreement or not. The only thing we'd be asking for is what we were asking for before about we want no nuclear.
The president spent much of day 2 of the summit downplaying a preliminary assessment from the Defense Intelligence Agency that suggested U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites had only set their program back a few months.
The site is obliterated.
Pentagon officials are expected to give a news conference today on the strikes, which the president says, quote, will prove both interesting and irrefutable. Senators will receive a classified briefing.
I want to know the truth, and I hope we can get it this week.
But there are reports the administration could limit how much classified information they receive.
We certainly don't want people who are hostile to this government and are trying to undermine our national security having classified intelligence in their hands if they're not responsible with it.
A briefing for House members is set for Friday. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Yesterday, the White House press secretary told reporters she believes the leak of the initial assessment of the U.S. strikes was illegal, and she says the FBI is now investigating. A Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador will be released to home confinement. A U.S. district judge will order Kilmar Abrego Garcia's release as he awaits his human smuggling trial. He was wrongly deported during Trump's immigration crackdown. The judge could order his release as soon as tomorrow, but acknowledged he's not expected to be fully freed. 2 Eau Claire men are facing child sexual assault charges. According to court documents, James Barbie and Robert Carstensen allegedly abused multiple neighborhood children between 2014 and 2022. Court documents say children frequently played on the men's properties where the assaults allegedly happened. Both admitted to inappropriate contact with children. Carstensen is held on $1 million bond, Barbie on $250,000. Wisconsin Supreme Court will not take up a challenge to the state's congressional maps. Democrats asked the court to redraw those maps after it ruled the state district maps were gerrymandered. The court did not offer an explanation, and justices did not sign the order. Republicans represent 6 of the state's 8 congressional districts. Governor Evers is demanding lawmakers fund child care during a lacrosse roundtable at the Collective on Main. The governor wants $480 million to continue Child Care Counts, a pandemic-era program using federal dollars to subsidize providers. That program set to end in just days on June 30th without state funding to replace the federal money. Child Care Counts has helped providers care for more than 417,000 kids, and a new survey shows a quarter could close without the funding.
What it shows me is that early childhood education is key to lots of things that go on in our state. My goals are making sure that we get state money going into child care.
Evers says he and Republicans are closer to solving child care funding than they have been before. Toma's 4K program seeing a major change that could help parents struggling to find care. News 8 Now's Allison Ferget reports.
Timber Pups 4K is giving families a new opportunity. Starting in the 2025-26 school year, they'll be expanding to an all-day program 4 days a week.
We find that over time that this will be strongly beneficial for our students, for our families.
After years of only offering half-day 4K, the Toma Area School District is now moving to an all-day program.
So we'll have a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and on Wednesdays our teachers will have their collaborations and things such as that.
Academic benefits are the main reason behind the move. Studies show full-day 4K programs improve students' educational outcomes.
It's just going to be fantastic to build those foundational skill sets that our little guys need.
There's a cost-saving benefit for families too. Timber Pups is free to attend, and with the new all-day model, families won't have to pay for childcare the other half of the day.
I think that really shapes powerful opportunities for the future.
More than 100 students are already enrolled for 4K next school year. Throughout the summer, the district will monitor enrollment levels and will possibly add more classes if need be.
We're anticipating, possibly one more classroom section of that, and if we need to go to 2, I believe we can do that.
Enrollment for Timber Pups is still open. We'll have information on how you can enroll your child posted on our digital platforms. Reporting in Toma, Allison Ferget, News 8 Now, this morning.
The city of La Crosse is considering a new downtown housing project at the old La Crosse Tribune building. The Economic and Community Development Commission discussed the Chalmers 4-story multifamily building proposal yesterday. That features 260 residential units and 5,500 square feet of commercial space.
Everybody that we've met down here has been really open and welcoming to our development, and seeing the La Crosse Tribune building be redeveloped into something nice and useful for the city of La Crosse. So I have nothing but positives to say right now.
The plan still has to be approved by Common Council. Developers hope to start construction in the fall. The time now is 6:08. Still ahead on your morning news. Home sales dropping in May. Tariffs now hitting toy prices, and Spirit Halloween plans to haunt 1,500 stores this fall. More on your morning money moves ahead. And hiring for many entry-level positions is on the decline. We'll tell you what's causing the slowdown and how you can stand out. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. The NBA draft was cause for celebration last night as Duke freshman Cooper Flagg was selected first overall by the Dallas Mavericks. Flagg led the Blue Devils in all 5 major statistical categories and became the 4th freshman in NCAA history to win the Wooden Award for the nation's top player. And at 18, he's the 2nd youngest #1 pick in NBA draft history, behind LeBron James. He's in good company there. And as you start to wake up, leaving you with a quick wake-up call with the city that developed the first ever tow truck, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is after the break.
At Maury's, we believe in being more than an auto dealership. We believe in celebrating change when life happens and new adventures begin, in affecting it for good in our communities where we're called to serve, because change can be good. And as your life changes, we'll be there for you, whether you're buying, servicing, or selling. And right now, Maury's is buying cars daily. Bring your vehicle with the title and we'll issue you a check within 30 minutes. Maury's, more than an auto dealership. Let's move forward together.
I'm Jordan Rudolph, and I'm the owner of Unity Fitness. We just won Best Gym in Lacrosse and Best Personal Trainer in Lacrosse for the Best of in 2025. As our mission to serve and help have a positive influence on so many people, we can't thank you enough, the voters, for having our back and helping us spread that mission forward into helping more people in the area.
Thank you so much for trusting us with your goals and for 10 years of support.
We view people as more than a before and after. To see if you're the right fit for us or if we're the right fit for you, head over to unityfitnesspro.com and book your free discovery call with us today.
Buy more, get more during the summer sale at Home Furniture. When you spend $6.99 or more on furniture, mattresses, and area rugs, like this Eltman sectional for just $7.99, you'll get a $100 MasterCard rewards card. Plus, for every additional $1,000 you spend, get a $100 card for a total of up to $1,000 back in MasterCard rewards cards. And take 15% off clearance and floor models. Only during our limited time summer sale. Hurry in and get more, only at Home Furniture.
I have active psoriatic arthritis, but with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready for this moment. Along with clearer skin, Skyrizi helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And it's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means
Forgettable Weekend. Ashley for the Arts returns August 7th through the 9th in Arcadia, featuring Brad Paisley, ZZ Top, Darius Rucker, Third Eye Blind, and more. From live music and family fun to fireworks and interactive art, all for $55. It's not just a festival, it's an experience. Get your tickets now at ashleyforthearts.com.
Here's a quick overview of the rest of your day in Eau Claire. Possibly seeing some morning showers moving in over the next few hours, but any of that morning rain would be very light. Otherwise, we're seeing that thunderstorm activity increase as we go into the early afternoon and into the evening hours. Potential for some stronger storms in Eau Claire. Otherwise, the main severe risk is looking to stay a little bit further south. La Crosse, a lesser chance to see those showers, maybe feeling a couple sprinkles out there in the later morning hours. Otherwise, thunderstorm activity definitely ramping up a little bit later into the afternoon, seeing that potential increase sometime after the noon hour. Going to be warm and humid out there until those thunderstorms move through as well. Highs in La Crosse, 82, basically anywhere south of I-90, getting close into the low 80s. Everywhere else staying somewhat cooler today because of those morning showers and extended cloud coverage. Eau Claire staying closer to 70 degrees for your high temperature today. Pollen count looking very nice out there, not dealing with any allergy issues today. Low in all levels from grass, weeds, and trees. And your mowing forecast, definitely going to want to hold off today unless you get it done a little bit earlier in the day. We do have those severe thunderstorms coming in as we go into the afternoon hours. Tomorrow, you got all green lights ahead of you, looking fairly nice. Temperature is very comfortable as well, and we're looking to actually have a dry day as we go into tomorrow. Saturday, possibility for some morning and evening showers. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit warm out there, so make sure you have your sunscreen on and have plenty of water because we'll have another warm up coming in for the weekend. I'll have a closer look at the severe potential coming up later today, coming up in a little bit.
In your morning consumer news, the month of May saw a decline in new home sales. The Census Bureau reporting 623,000 home sales last month. That is a significant dip from both April's total and what economists were estimating. High prices and mortgage rates close to 7% continue to price some would-be home buyers out of the market. Trump's tariffs, meanwhile, making toys more expensive. Prices for dolls, stuffed animals, blocks, and games rose 2.2% between April and May. 75% of toys sold in the U.S. come from China, which faces a 30% tariff from the Trump administration. Economists say the tariffs are forcing toy stores to raise prices, and they do expect this trend to continue. Spirit Halloween is seeking to conjure up some help for the incoming spooky season. The pop-up retailer has announced plans to open more than 1,500 locations this year, and it says it'll need 50,000 seasonal employees to staff those stores, which usually open in August. Spirit says its employees get perks, including 30% off of in-store merchandise. Experts say it's taking a while for companies to hire these days, and the slowdown is caused by a number of factors. Jen Sullivan looks at the job market and how you can stand out among the other candidates.
The job market appears to be cooling. Last month, 139,000 jobs were added, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Unemployment remained steady at 4.2%. Experts say there's a lot of economic uncertainty impacting hiring.
The uncertainty in the marketplace certainly causes the process to slow down on both the employer and the employee side.
Dawn Fay works at recruiting firm Robert Half. They recently asked more than 2,200 U.S. managers about hiring and found 93% say the process is taking longer than it did 2 years ago. And one of the big reasons why is they're overwhelmed with applicants.
It is causing people to have that much more information and resumes to go through.
Fay says the hiring slowdown is happening across all industries.
It's not just some of the more senior level positions. We're seeing them at entry level roles as well.
So how can you stand out?
We want to really be able to give the specifics of things that you have accomplished. What has been the return on your efforts that have been there? Those types of things tend to really stand out.
Fay says don't fill your resume with a bunch of keywords. Give specifics about how you met tight deadlines or did a project under budget. She also recommends getting a referral from someone at the company. And most importantly, Fay says the hiring process can take anywhere from a week to 6 months, so be patient.
It is a process. And some news now from around the state. The Wisconsin Supreme Court siding with the legislature in a dispute with the governor. The court ruled Governor Evers improperly used his partial veto on a bill funding the state's new reading law. Wisconsin requires schools to teach phonics for early literacy, but lawmakers put $50 million to implement it in a separate bill. The governor partially vetoed that measure to change how the money would be spent. Republicans sued in response, and that money had been frozen ever since.
We were disappointed with the decision, but we live with that. And so it's just a matter of making sure that we're working together. I'm counting on people's goodwill to do the right thing.
The governor has partial veto power on appropriation bills, but the court ruled the $50 million measure was not an appropriations bill. Top Republicans on the Joint Finance Committee say they will now release the $50 million to help kids struggling to read and implement the bipartisan reforms. That's a look at your consumer news this morning. We'll send it over to meteorologist Nicole Skalicki. She's got another update on our forecast.
Yes, today is an alert day due to some potential severe weather moving into the area as we head into the afternoon and into the evening hours. Let's take a look at the risk overview, mainly seeing the main risks south of I-94. And even then, we're only at a 1 out of 5. That's a marginal, a little bit higher risk off to our south, a level 2 out of 5 for that slight risk for areas south of I-90. Even if you're north of I-94, still likely seeing some activity as we go later into the afternoon, into the evening. Otherwise, that severe risk is looking much lower than the rest of the area. As for the risks today, it's almost the identical environment to what we saw yesterday. So I got to do very little work this morning in putting up these risks. Didn't have to change them at all. We're looking at a low to moderate risk for tornadoes. However, again, very similar to what we saw yesterday, where if they do occur, they're looking to be very short-lived and to be on the weaker side. High winds also projected to be a little bit locally within those thunderstorms, and then flooding really our main concern. We've had plenty of rain out there so far this week, and that ground is going to have a hard time being able to absorb any more. And it's looking like we could have some heavier amounts, especially under those thunderstorms. So flooding in those lower lying areas and some urban areas is definitely on the docket today. As we go throughout the rest of the morning, we could maybe see some light showers getting to I-94 sometime around 9-10 in the morning. However, everybody else really looking to remain dry as we go throughout the morning hours. Towards the noon hour, though, that's when we start to see some isolated thunderstorm activity starting to pop up, mainly south of I-90. Those will continue to generate a little bit later into the afternoon. This is where the highest tornado possibility is going to be within these isolated thunderstorms. Again, even if we do see some of those tornadic signatures starting to pop up, they're looking to be fairly weak and short-lived, very, very similar to what we saw yesterday. That thunderstorm activity continues into the early evening hours until we start to see the main line getting to La Crosse and Eau Claire sometime after about 5-6 p.m. The main risk with that will be definitely the heavy rain potential. Could be seen upwards of 1 to 2 inches just within that line falling out of those thunderstorms. Otherwise, some high wind gusts possible in front of the line and maybe a few lighter, weaker, short-lived spin-ups and tornadoes within that line as well. But again, the main tornado risk really a little bit earlier on in the evening with those isolated thunderstorms. Otherwise, a lot of that activity moves on out sometime after midnight, and then we're looking to stay dry as we go into the rest of tonight and looking towards Friday. Finally, a dry day in the forecast. Here's a look at the rain totals again. If you find yourself under a thunderstorm, possibly seeing around 2 to 3 inches of additional rain to what we've already seen out there. So flooding still on the forefront of our minds. Otherwise, everybody else looking to at least see another ½ an inch, closer to maybe 3/4 of an inch out there if you don't find yourself under that thunderstorm activity. Tonight, lows not looking too bad. Most of the area staying in the low to mid 60s, 64 for your low in La Crosse. Tomorrow's highs, very mild and comfortable. Most of the area actually staying in the upper 70s, 79 for your high in La Crosse, 74 in Eau Claire. And the main story tomorrow, staying dry. We'll stay mostly dry on Saturday as well. However, we could see some thunderstorms moving in for Sunday. And then next week, looking mostly dry and very comfortable with near average temperatures.
Thank you, Nicole. Outside vaccine advisors are set to hold key votes today. We'll take a look into new RSV antibodies for infants. And if you haven't seen as many mosquitoes lately, don't worry. Experts say they're on their way back. Coming up, we'll take a look at why they haven't been around and what you can do to protect your family.
Coming up in sports, a battle of the best. Paul Skeens, Jacob Mizorowski going head-to-head at American Family Field, and it was electric. I've got the highlights coming up in the Morning Blitz.
Save big with these hot deals at Menards, all after 11% rebate. A 3-panel folding LED light is just $1.99. Miracle Grow plant food, only $5.49. Plus, Ajax dish soap is just $1.99. Lloyd St. Louis style spare ribs, only $11.98. Hurry, these great deals won't last long. Sign up for Menards emails to get the weekly flyer, plus exclusive daily flash sales right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
This river wasn't dammed in a day, and GMC trucks weren't built overnight. Like every American achievement, they are a result of dedication. Over 100 years dedicated to the art of engineering and the ambition to always move this country forward. Or get 0% APR plus $2,600 total value on this Sierra 1500 model.
Visit your best choice GMC dealer today.
When Arby's says euros, you say 2 for $7. Euros. 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 Louder. Arby's, we have the meat.
Living with chronic migraine? 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine, and treatment is 4 times a year. So why wait? Talk to your doctor.
Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medicines like botulinum toxins, which may increase the risk of serious side effects.
In a survey, 91% of patients wish they'd started Botox sooner. Ask your doctor today. If eligible, you may pay $0.
Rotary Lights' mission is to help feed the hungry in the Coulee region. Help us meet that goal by donating at our Food for Fridays events this July. Donate non-perishable food items or cash at these 2 locations on these dates. All proceeds benefit the Hunger Task Force.
News 8 Now Sports.
Morning Blitz. We had a treat over in Milwaukee yesterday. 2 of the MLB's best young pitchers going head-to-head at American Family Field as Jacob Misiorowski looked to continue his hot start to his rookie year, and Pittsburgh's Paul Skeens is chasing an NL Cy Young. So let's go there. Here's Pittsburgh's ace, Paul Skeens. A good start to the game for him as he picked up back-to-back strikeouts to end the first inning. But then in the second, the Brewers would get to him. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Joey Ortiz hits a little dribbler up the first base line. Out at first, but a run scores. Milwaukee takes the lead. Next batter, Eric Haas at the plate. He pops it up to shallow center field. O'Neal Cruz can't make the play. Add another one, it's 2-0 Brewers. Top of the order now, Sal Frelick up to bat, and a ground ball to second base. The throw home, not in time as Caleb Durbin slides in safely. Milwaukee pouring it on, and they weren't done. Now 2 outs with runners at the corners, and Christian Yelich, he's gonna stay hot. Lines it out to right field. 1 more run scores. Brewers with a 4-0 lead after 2 innings. And for Misiorowski, he was awesome. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. He's now pitched 16 big league innings total, giving up just 3 total hits and 19 total strikeouts. His ERA is at a 1.13. Certainly a fan favorite already and could potentially be a Rookie of the Year candidate. Pirates would score 2 late in the game, but McGill is going to shut the door. Brewers win 4-2, and manager Pat Murphy is liking what he sees from his young pitcher.
The fact that he understood it and understood the magnitude it meant for our team. It's about the team. And I think he got it loud and clear, and didn't give up free bases, didn't implode. Walked the first guy, got back on track. Speaks to, what he can do.
So once again, 4-2 the final. Milwaukee gets the series win. They are now 20-8 in their last 28 games, playing their best ball of the season. But there's still a lot of work to do. They trail the Cubs by 2.5 games for the division lead. The Brewers go again Friday, hosting the Colorado Rockies. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
River City Grill in Winona is your place for great food and drinks every night of the week. Enjoy Monday's 3-2-1 special. $3 off pizza, $2 off pasta, and $1 off our mouth-watering burgers. Plus $6 house margaritas. See you soon at River City Grill in Winona.
The heat is on.
And so is Carl's Salute to Savings sale.
Save up to 45% on major appliances.
Get up to $1,000 back with Carl's exclusive rebates. Get this 28 cubic foot refrigerator for only $14.99. See the all-new washer dryer combi models.
All TVs are on sale.
Shop our Serta iComfort Eco mattresses.
And our great selection of name brand grills.
Carl's Salute to Savings sale.
Carl's is a servicing dealer since 1956.
First you hear it, then you feel it. That's the crunchy, melt-in-your-mouth feeling of Ritz Toasted Chips.
Slow down.
Cut! I get it. Slow motion. Slow down geographic atrophy. But we don't need gimmicks. Stick to the facts. GA, the advanced form of dry AMD, can irreversibly damage your vision. But Syfovre is an FDA-approved eye injection that gives you the power to slow GA. Syfovre was proven to slow GA lesion growth over 2 years with increasing effect over time. It's the only treatment to slow GA in as few as 6 doses per year.
Don't take Syfovre if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye that may include pain and redness or are allergic to it. Syfovre can cause severe allergic reactions. Other serious side effects are eye infection and retinal detachments, severe inflammation of vessels in the retina, which may result in severe vision loss, wet AMD, eye inflammation, and an increase in eye pressure. Most common side effects are eye discomfort, wet AMD, small specks floating in vision, and blood in the white of the eye. Tell your doctor right away if you have any side effects.
Act on facts to slow GA. Ask your retina specialist about Syfovre. Nope, just the facts.
A great percentage of what we do at the Pump House Regional Arts Center is impacted by tourists. When tourists come to the La Crosse region, it benefits everyone. They seek out many opportunities to experience theater, concerts, outdoor, wildlife, dining. It connects us all.
The Power of Tourism, brought to you by Explore La Crosse.
River City Grill in Winona is your place for great food and drinks every night of the week. Enjoy Monday's 3-2-1 special. $3 off pizza, $2 off pasta, and $1 off our mouth-watering burgers. Plus $6 house margaritas. See you soon at River City Grill in Winona.
Coming up in your morning weather, today is an alert day. Who could see some potentially severe thunderstorms and when we're expecting them to come into the area coming up.
Right now this morning, waking up to the aftermath of yesterday's tornado outbreak. We'll show you the damage across our area and what crews are dealing with today. And President Trump returning from NATO, ready to meet with Iran, but conflicting intelligence reports on the nuclear strikes have senators demanding answers. And from breakfast with veterans to death-defying stunts, the Big River Rally has something for everyone this weekend. We're joined by an organizer later in the show. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter. On this Thursday, June 26th, meteorologist Nicole Skaliczki is in for Art this morning. We'll send it over to her. Another alert day, more rain, same old, right?
Same old, same old. And it's almost identical conditions to what we saw yesterday as well.
Okay.
So it's making the forecast pretty easy. But before we get into that, we do have some potential storm surveys going out today from the National Weather Service to some of those potential tornadoes that you saw. 2 surveys will be conducted in Wabasha County, 1 in Winona County, 3 in Houston County, and 2 in La Crosse County. The good news is, since these are fairly close to the National Weather Service office in La Crosse, they should be done fairly quickly, and hopefully we'll have more information on those ratings for you a little bit later today. Otherwise, until then, we do have an alert day for this afternoon and for this evening. Flash flooding still that main risk because we've had so much rain. That's going to be a risk for the entire area. Otherwise, we're still tracking the potential for a weak and short-lived tornado to pop up with these storms and some localized damaging winds, mainly for those areas south of I-94 in Eau Claire. Current conditions right now in La Crosse, not looking too bad out there. Maybe some fog starting to move in, but hopefully not too bad. Still seeing high visibility out there, sitting at 70 degrees. In Eau Claire, sitting around 58, still holding on to some lingering fog. However, it's really starting to lift now, and we should be seeing some high visibilities continue on for the rest of the morning. Do have some rain on the way, though, especially as we get closer to I-94. Could see some lighter showers moving in over the next few hours, although I'll have a closer look at our severe potential coming in a little bit later in the broadcast.
All right, Nicole, thank you. And we'll take a look at some of the damage from those tornadoes yesterday. This video sent to us by a viewer from Berry Mills. You see the funnel almost fully touching down, but it did soon dissipate, thankfully. And then our cameras found some other damage. This is a piece of a metal roof that flew off into a field from those high winds. Another funnel cloud on Goose Island captured in this video, and you can see it forming there in the distance. And another tornado captured on camera crossing the road in Heartland, Minnesota. Also some debris could be seen swirling in the air. This one is quite large. A tornado touched down in Yucatan, Minnesota. That left behind plenty of debris. Some fallen trees blocked off of a few roads. A number of cars flooded out as rain pummeled La Crosse. We saw multiple vehicles stuck in the high water. Luckily for those drivers, Good Samaritans were on standby.
And so I was on my way home and I saw a bunch of flashing lights from stalled out cars. So I decided to come down and push some people out.
And a reminder, you can track weather on your block by downloading the First Warn Weather app. You can find that in the App Store or on Google Play. The White House is preparing to meet with Iran next week after President Trump declared their war with Israel finished following last weekend's strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Trump doubled down at the NATO summit, claiming U.S. strikes obliterated Iran's main nuclear site. The Ayatollah of Iran speaking this morning, claiming victory for Iran. CBS's Jared Hill reports.
President Donald Trump, back in Washington from the NATO summit, says his administration plans to meet with Iran next week.
They had a war, they fought, now they're going back to their world. I don't care if I have an agreement or not. The only thing we'd be asking for is what we were asking for before about we want no nuclear.
The president spent much of day 2 of the summit downplaying a preliminary assessment from the Defense Intelligence Agency that suggested U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites had only set their program back a few months.
The site is obliterated.
Pentagon officials are expected to give a news conference today on the strikes, which the president says, quote, will prove both interesting and irrefutable. Senators will receive a classified briefing.
I want to know the truth, and I hope we can get it this week.
But there are reports the administration could limit how much classified information they receive.
We certainly don't want people who are hostile to this government and are trying to undermine our national security having classified intelligence in their hands if they're not responsible with it.
A briefing for House members is set for Friday. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Yesterday, the White House press secretary told reporters she believes the leak of the initial assessment of the U.S. strikes was illegal. She says the FBI is now investigating. Wisconsin Supreme Court will not take up a challenge to the state's congressional maps. Democrats asked the court to redraw those after it ruled the state district maps were gerrymandered. The court did not offer an explanation. Justices did not sign the order. Republicans represent 6 of the state's 8 congressional districts. Governor Tony Evers demanding lawmakers fund child care during a La Crosse roundtable yesterday. He wants $480 million to continue the Child Care Counts program that uses federal dollars to subsidize providers. The program is set to end in just days on June 30th without state funding to replace the federal money. Child Care Counts has helped providers care for more than 417,000 Wisconsin kids. A recent survey shows a quarter could be forced to close without that funding.
What it shows me is that early childhood education is key to lots of things that go on in our state. My goals are making sure that we get state money going into child care.
Evers says he and Republicans are closer than ever to solving child care funding. If you have a 4-year-old in Tomah, your child care costs just got cheaper. The Tomah Area School District expanding its Timber Pups 4K program to 4 full days this week, that is. The district moves from half-day to all-day sessions on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. The free program saved families money on child care, while research shows full-day 4K improves student outcomes.
We find that over time that this will be strongly beneficial for our students, for our families.
Next year. In your morning medical news, Trump's new CDC vaccine advisors hold 2 votes today. First, a vote on a new RSV antibody for newborns and infants. The vote was delayed from yesterday because the panel was running behind schedule, they said. They'll also vote on thimerosal, the mercury-based preservative used to prevent bacteria and fungus in flu shots. Mosquitoes have been quiet lately, they're saying, but experts warn they're about to make a comeback. Don't worry. The cold weather, massive rain, and low river levels are creating perfect breeding conditions, they say. This year, the cattail mosquito, known for leaving big red welts, is expected to be the biggest problem. Mosquito control specialists say they are getting ready for the swarm.
We're going to be very busy the next couple days trying to get all our helicopters out and getting all our staff out to do our treatments now so that we can knock down the mosquito population before the 4th of July.
And a few quick tips for you. Make sure to put on bug spray with DEET is what they recommend, and avoid going out during the dusk and dawn. And now we'll send it over to meteorologist Nicole Skalicki. She's got an update on our morning commute.
Yeah, we're still tracking the potential for some rain to be moving into the area, mainly for folks near and north of I-94. However, we are starting to see some very light development just north of I-90, very sporadic development too. Otherwise, it's going to be very light rain showers. If we look ahead towards the next 3 or so hours, that's where we really see a lot of that main band of rain staying just closer to I-94. Everybody else will actually be staying mostly dry as we go throughout the rest of the morning. However, that's not going to be the case as we head towards the afternoon. Visibility is starting to clear up for some now, however, still holding on to some spots where we're seeing some denser fog. Black River Falls sitting at visibility of around a mile, but now La Crosse and Eau Claire have both cleared up to 10 miles of visibility. Here's the rest of your day in Eau Claire, still holding on to those morning showers, but as we move into the afternoon, definitely seeing that uptick in those thunderstorm chances, more so in the early evening hours for Eau Claire. La Crosse could see those shower and thunderstorm chances a little bit earlier on in the afternoon, likely sometime after the noon hour. We do have that severe chance later this afternoon and into the evening, with flooding potential very high as we continue going into the rest of the night. And then dry break is going to be incoming for your Friday. I'll have a full look at how long we're expecting to stay dry coming up in a little bit.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8, starting with Kendall, turning 8 months. She loves talking, rolling, and spending time outside. And Cooper's turning 8. He loves being outside, riding his bike, and playing soccer. And Dawn is turning 88. She loves to spend time with her friends and family, sew, and go to the casino. Happy birthday to all of you. If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com. Still ahead for us, the Big River Rally getting ready to roll into town. We've got the details live in studio just after the break.
What will you find at Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique? Everything you need and more. See our selection of Polish pottery, cookware, olive oils and vinegar, and our gadget wall. Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique, located inside Wesco and Sparta. Tell them Peyton sent you.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Get the freedom to save. Get $4,250 cash allowance on this Silverado. Plus, $2,250 in trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP.
I'm Jordan Rudolph, and I'm the owner of Unity Fitness. We just won Best Gym in La Crosse and Best Personal Trainer in La Crosse for the Best of in 2025. As our mission to serve and help have a positive influence on so many people, we can't thank you enough, the voters, for having our back and helping us spread that mission forward into helping more people in the area.
Thank you so much for trusting us with your goals and for 10 years of support.
We view people as more than a before and after. To see if you're the right fit for us or if we're the right fit for you, head over to unityfitnesspro.com and book your free discovery call with us today.
It's here, the 4th of July sale at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota. It's the perfect time to save with store-wide sale prices, 48-month special financing, and free gas. Only at Drury's will you find beautifully tailored sofas and chairs, handcrafted bedrooms and dining rooms, a huge selection of premium leather, and the designers to help you put it all together. Great sale prices, 48-month special financing, and even free gas. The 4th of July sale happening now at Drury's in Fountain, Minnesota.
Are you ready to build your future? Stella Jones Corporation in Bangor is hiring and wants you to apply. The starting wage for laborers is up to $21 per hour with no experience necessary. We will train the right candidate. Stella Jones Corporation is where safety matters and wages sustain a comfortable living. If you have what it takes and can stand behind our railroads, then we want you to apply today.
Here I am, field trip chaperone.
Before preventing migraine with Qulipta, it was hard keeping plans.
And look at me now.
You'll never truly forget migraine, but Qulipta reduces attacks, making more zero migraine days possible.
Don't take if allergic. Stop taking and get help right away for allergic reactions like trouble breathing, face, lip, or tongue swelling, itching, or rash. Tell your doctor about increased blood pressure or color changes, pain, or numbness in fingers or toes.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Qulipta, the forget you get migraine medicine.
Welcome to Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique. Whether you're a gourmet cook or an aspiring foodie, we have something for your style and taste. See our selection of gourmet cookware, bakeware, and appliances. Hazel and Lola's Kitchen Boutique. Stop in today and tell them Peyton sent you.
Well, as we look towards this afternoon, we are expecting another day of potentially severe thunderstorms passing through in the early afternoon and going into the evening hours. Let's take a look at our thunderstorm outlook, mainly for our risks. We're seeing mainly a marginal risk for areas near and south of I-94. Anybody to the north still could see some of that activity. However, the severe risk is looking a lot lower compared to the rest of the area. We do have a slight risk for areas near and south of I-90 as well. That's a level 2 out of 5. That's definitely where the highest risk is going to be. And the risk that we're looking at for today, very similar to what we saw yesterday. I honestly didn't really have to change these risks around that much because the environment is almost identical. We're seeing a low to moderate risk for tornadoes. If they do form, very similar to what we saw yesterday, it's looking like they would be short-lived and on the weaker side. High winds are possible as well in some of those more localized areas within those thunderstorms, and of course flooding possible with all that heavy rain that we've been having. We could see some flooding in some of those low-lying areas and some urban areas as well. Still tracking some potential showers moving in fairly early on in the morning hours, mainly near and north of I-94, sometime around 9 and 10 in the morning. Otherwise, everybody else looking to stay dry as we go throughout the morning hours. As we head towards the noon hour, that's when we start to see some isolated thunderstorm development forming mainly south and near I-90. Those isolated thunderstorms will continue on into the afternoon, and this is where we're looking to see the highest severe threat, or excuse me, the highest tornado threat across the area within these isolated thunderstorms. Again, if the tornadoes do form, just like yesterday, it's looking like they'd be weak and fairly short-lived. As we go throughout the rest of the evening, that's when we see that main line off to our west start to get closer to the Mississippi River Valley sometime around 6 p.m. The main risk with that would then turn into the heavy rain, flooding, and the wind damage as well, especially with the shape of this line. When you start to see it bow out a little bit, we could see some higher winds at the front of that line. Otherwise, after it passes through, that flooding risk is really going to take over in the forefront of your mind with all that heavy rain that we've been getting. Still seeing that rain continue to move through as we go into the later evening hours, but it's looking like we should be dry as we head into tonight and even as we go into tomorrow as well. Until then, we're looking at the possibility of another potentially 2 to 3 inches if you find yourself in one of those thunderstorms. Otherwise, the rest of the area at least seeing half an inch, if not 3/4, even if you're not under one of those thunderstorms. Tonight's lows staying fairly mild across the area. For the most part, we're staying in the low and mid 60s, 64 for your low in La Crosse, 60 in Eau Claire. And as we go into tomorrow, very mild and comfortable temperatures. Most of the area sitting in the low 70s, mild and dry as well. And then going into tomorrow, still seeing that dry condition. Saturday, likely staying dry for at least most of the day before more storms come in for Sunday, and then mostly dry next week with near average temperatures taking over.
All right, thank you, Nicole. New this morning, thousands of motorcycles are about to roar into La Crosse for one of the region's biggest weekend events. The Big River Rally is bringing stunt shows, live music, and riders from across the country to our backyard. We're joined this morning by Jean Taylor to tell us more about it. Good morning, Jean. Nice to see you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to hear about it. So for people who may not know, tell us what we should know about the Big River Rally.
Well, it's really motorcycle enthusiasts, obviously, and celebrating the region that we live in. Beautiful riding roads here, some of the best in the country, right? The Great River Road and, you know, the coulees. And so showcasing our area that we live, the roads, the businesses, the points of interest, and, you know, having people enjoy riding and having fun for the weekend, too.
Okay,
yeah,
great. And it should be a good weekend for it, right? Hopefully the rain is moving out. Hopefully it stays out.
Looks good.
Yeah, the sun's going to come out. All right. And you've got everything from breakfast to stunt shows. So walk us through some of the weekend highlights. What can people expect?
Yeah, there's an organized ride. So if motorcycling is your thing, we have an organized ride on Friday night that leaves at 5 o'clock. We have one on Saturday morning that's headed out to Viola to S&S Cycle. We have a breakfast that you mentioned that's open to everyone, $10, and we're using that money, those proceeds, to give to La Crosse County Veterans Services a week before 4th of July, and they have needs for families and veterans in our area.
Right.
So we're hoping to have some pancakes and raise some money for them. We have the Budweiser Clydesdales in town on Saturday.
Yes, that is a big draw for sure. People have been emailing us already saying they were like in Toma at one point. People are tracking them. They're excited.
So that's a free procession in downtown La Crosse for anybody that's interested. So the Clydesdales will be at Big River Rally, which is at the Oktoberfest grounds, and they'll make a public procession through downtown on 2nd on front into Riverside Park. You can find that information on our website, the map of the procession. And that's 2 o'clock and free for people to come downtown and watch, obviously. Grounds are free from 11 until 1 on Saturday for vendor market, food truck, stunt show, as you mentioned, live music. So we're really excited. Should be a fun, packed couple days.
Okay, yeah, and we had some footage up there of those Clydesdales. I know people look forward to that. And so do you have to be a rider? Doesn't sound like you have to be a rider to enjoy this,
You
right?
do not. I don't ride, but I love live music. I love shopping at vendors. I love to eat at food trucks. I like to watch stunt shows. I cannot wait to meet the Budweiser Clydesdales. So just a lot of fun things to do. Live music both Friday and Saturday night on that main stage down at the Oktoberfest grounds. So no, you don't need to ride to have fun this weekend.
Okay, and it sounds like it's family friendly too. Anything else that kids can expect specifically? We know the Clydesdales are a big draw, but anything else?
They are, and the stunt show I think will be fun. There's a couple performances on Friday night and then 4 again on Saturday. Those times all listed on our website. So that will be kind of neat to see. He jumps cars and he's a 14-time
someone's
U.S.
up here now,
champ. So he's really talented. So that will be fun, I think, for kids to take in.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and any tickets or registration or anything, or can we just show up? What do we need to know about that?
Yeah, there are tickets.
Okay.
There's live music and things like that. So there are tickets for all weekend long. So one ticket gets you in all weekend long. There is information about that on our website as well. Those can be purchased online or at the gate. And then there's that free couple hours, 11 to 1 on Saturday, and then the Clydesdales with the downtown procession as well. But yeah, all the information there about tickets and how to get in and how to enjoy.
Okay, great. And that's bigriverrally.com. That's where you can find everything.
Yeah, sure. And I just mentioned that the 2 rides that we're doing, those are free. So if you're a motorcyclist and you want to ride with us on Friday night or ride on Saturday, those are just
free to participate.
Yes, correct.
Okay, great. Well, it sounds like a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here to tell us about
Thanks
it.
for having me.
No problem. Nice to see you. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
I'm Tony DeCopel. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Anthony Mason sits down with British singer Marina, and they talk about her music and how it's inspired artists like Billie Eilish and Olivia Rodrigo. How about that? Coming up on CBS Mornings.
How do you find the best personal injury lawyer? You ask other lawyers. Every partner at Bygoff and Rohde has been ranked in the top 5% by their peers. Hire the MVPs of personal injury. Call BGR.
Red, white, and new. It's time to refresh your space for less at the King Furniture Pre-4th of July Savings Event. Save up to 50% on an entire room of beautiful new furniture. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining, you name it. Find mattress closeout deals on overstocked inventory and special factory closeout Lazy Boy recliners at prices too good to sit out. Plus, when you trade in your old furniture, get a discount on new. We'll even deliver in Holloway for free. It's the King Furniture Pre-4th of July Savings Event going on now.
Taste a sweet strawberry, a Jolivet strawberry. Stop by Jolivet Family Farms Market today for some fresh Jolivet's homegrown strawberries. Available 7 days a week in the market. Check for availability. Jolivet's also features a large selection of fresh vegetables and homegrown produce. There is no sweeter strawberry in the world than a Jolivet strawberry. Only at Jolivet Family Farms, West Salem.
Macy's July 4th sale has our lowest prices of summer on mattresses. Rest easy with up to 65% off our top brands. A free adjustable base or box spring. Plus a Macy's gift card up to $300. Going on now at Macy's.
First you hear it, then you feel it. That's the crunchy, melt-in-your-mouth feeling of Ritz Toasted Chips.
So that no matter what mess you brought into this church today, no matter what addiction and what struggle, no matter how many times you've doubted God or questioned God, that because of Jesus Christ, God's not holding it over your head. Instead, there is this amazing grace, there is this unconditional love that you and I can say, God doesn't just put up with us. God loves us.
Join Pastor Mike Novotny each Sunday. Watch Time of Grace on Channel 8, WKBT.
Some decisions you can make quickly. I'm all in. But when you're hiring a personal injury lawyer, trust me, you're going to win big. Do your research and object to anything less than the best. Call BGR.
What is a hero? Not the kind from comic books and movies, saving the day. We're talking about everyday heroes, those with a special kind of courage or ability, those saving the day, one person at a time. News 8 Now wants to find those heroes and thank them for bettering our community. Go to news8000.com, click on Features, then Hometown Heroes to nominate someone you feel is truly a hometown hero.
The Brewers are coming to the Coulee region.
And there she goes!
Yeah, you heard that right. All summer long, you can catch the Brewers right here and for free. No pay-per-view, no subscription, just good old reliable free TV the way the baseball gods intended it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the action as News 8 now brings you 10 games throughout the summer.
A grand slam for Christian.
The Brewers playing here? You're welcome. The Milwaukee Brewers on News 8 Now.
Emily Brown on News 8 Now. The First Warn Weather app. Download it today. Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Well, if you haven't heard, Jeff Bezos' multi-million-dollar wedding is happening in Venice this weekend. Locals are not too happy about it. They made this mannequin of the Amazon founder. It was found floating in Venice's Grand Canal, holding an Amazon box. There it goes, and it's got some fake cash with it, too. It's one of several protests against the $64 to $76 million Venetian wedding of Bezos and his fiancée. The lavish three-day event is set to kick off soon, with details closely guarded. We'll see more protests like this, I am sure. And time now for your morning news. Now we begin in Iran. President Trump back from the NATO summit with plans to meet with Iranian officials next week. The meeting follows U.S. airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites last weekend. Trump also met privately with Ukrainian President Zelensky as part of efforts to end Russia's war with Ukraine. This morning, the Ayatollah speaking out for the first time. He declared a victory for Iran. Meanwhile, Governor Tony Evers of Wisconsin pushing for child care funding during a La Crosse roundtable. He wants $480 million to continue child care counts, a program that's set to end in just days. It's helped providers care for more than 417,000 Wisconsin children. A quarter of providers could close without the funding.
What it shows me is that early childhood education is key to lots of things that go on in our state. My goals are making sure that we get state money going into child care.
Evers says he and Republicans are closer to solving child care funding than they ever have been. If you have a 4-year-old in Toma, your child care costs just got cheaper. The Toma Area School District expanding its Timber Pups 4K program to 4 full days a week. The district will move from half day to all day on those 4 days, and the free program aims to save families money on childcare, while research shows full day 4K improves student outcomes.
We find that over time that this will be strongly beneficial for our students, for our families.
More than 100 students have enrolled for next school year. The district monitors enrollment throughout the summer and says it will add additional classrooms if needed.
And taking one last look at your radar, starting to see some showers getting into the area now, mainly north of I-90, going to track towards I-94 as we get towards the next couple hours or so. Just some light rain to start, but we do have some severe weather potentially moving into the area later this afternoon. Likely seeing some flash flooding, maybe a weak tornado and some damaging winds with those storms as well. Otherwise, looking towards tomorrow, it's going to be a dry day, our first dry day in what feels like forever, and then most of next week not looking too bad either. So finally a break from the rain.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that dry out for sure.
Yeah,
we will need it. All right, Nicole, thank you. And thank you for waking up with us this morning. Coming up later today at noon, President Trump prepares to meet with Iran next week. We will have more from a press conference with the defense secretary ahead.